ああああ。
Let's learn about the rules of Go. Stones are placed on the intersections where two lines meet. Try placing a stone on E5, which is just on the left of the white stone.
E5。
Good, you've placed a stone on
で、点々。
E5. Use the next button below to continue. Stones can also be placed on the edge of the board. Try placing a stone on C1. Nice, one more before we learn about liberty. Finally, stones can be placed on the corner of the board. Perfect, let's learn about liberties next. A
呼吸点。
liberty is a spot that is connected to a stone or stones by
呼
a
吸点
line.
とは石または
This
石の
white
グループ
stone
に
has
線でつな
four
がっている場所
liberties.
であることを覚えてください。この石には4つ呼吸点があります。はい。
These triangles are not
ここ
liberties
は呼
because
吸
there's
点であ
no
ります。
line going from the white stone to the triangle.
それからですね、ください。
How many liberties does this white stone have? Choose your answer by placing a stone on one of the numbers on the board. Good choice. White has two liberties. Remember that liberties are the line. How many liberties does this white stone have? Yep, one liberty. How many liberties does this white? Excellent, two. You are getting the hang of this. Stones are connected by a line and share liberties.
呼吸
How
点を
many
共有します。
liberties does this group of two white stones have?
1、2、3。
Nailed it. Three liberties? How many liberties does this group of
おい
three white
1、
stones
2、3、
have?
4、5、6、7。
Fantastic. How many liberties does this group of three white stones have?
1、2、3、4、5、6、7。
Seven liberties is stones are captured and removed from the board when they have no
呼吸点
liberties
が並ぶ
left.
と、
Capture the well done. You've capture this white stone. Good choice. Last one before we start capturing. Nice job on. Let's try capturing two stones at once. Nice both. Can you capture five stones at once? There you
1の
go.
飛んで。
Five cap. Here are 11 connected stones. Try capturing them.
出てこの状況なんだ。
Nice. You captured. Black can capture something in a move.
黒
Do you
はど
see
こ
where
か
it
な。
is? Fantastic. You are ready to play Pickles in a game of first.
Hello, human. My name is Pickles.
誰
Great
だよ。
job making it this far. And yes, I know I'm cute. I challenge you to a game of first capture, meaning whoever captures first wins the game. I'm a happy and kind turtle, so you can go first. You play as black. Capturing is fun,
え、
but that's... Hello, human. My name is Pickles. Great
嘘。
job making it this far. And yes, I know I'm cute. Capturing... Hello,
あ、考えてん
human.
か。
My
紙考
name
え
is
てんか、これ。
Pickles. Great job making it this far. And yes, Nice move. Try to capture me. You have defeated me, the mighty Pickles. Let's have a rematch after you learn the rest of the rules. See you then,
挑
my
戦状
dear
投げつけ
human
できる。
friend. Capturing is fun, but that's not the point of the game. In a later section,
ちょっと懐かし
we
いけ
will
ど。
learn about territory, the goal of the game.
A move is
そん
illegal in
な、
two cases.
石取り
One,
ゲームじゃないの。
it has no liberties and does not capture any stones, like at A1. Two, it creates a repeating situation.
呼吸点がなく、どの石も取ることができないとき。自殺はよくダメよと。一生懸命繰り返す。
Placing a stone at A1 is not allowed because it has no liberties and is not capturing any
自
stones.
殺で。自
Try
殺でこれ、
placing a
そのうち
stone
の
at
放送
A1.
タイプ使えなさそう。
White is now surrounded and only has one liberty left. Your move was allowed because it was capturing the three white. Is black allowed to place a stone at B? If so, place a stone at B. If placing a stone at B is illegal, place a stone at A instead.
あそこじゃないこれ。
Nice choice. You are not allowed to place a stone at B because it has no liberty. Is black allowed to place a stone at B? If so, place a stone at B.
これも。
If placing a stone at B is illegal, place a stone at A instead.
これ繋がってんかわかんねえ。これ繋がってんのここ関係ない。繋がってないもんね。
Great, because you were Oh no, your opponent just captured two of your stones at A and B. Are you allowed to place a stone at A or B? If not, place a stone
なんか
at
ね、
C.
これは反則なんやっけこう、こっちの。でも打てるんやっけ
Nice, it does not matter if your opponent captured you as long as you have liberties.
あ、ということ。創作ムーブってことできるってこと。
Try placing a stone at A1 and at C1. These two
二
spots
回
for
の石の
white
生地
are called eyes. A spot that is an illegal move or will
二回の
eventually
石の
be an
ことだ
illegal move.
名と呼ば
This
れる場所
white
です。
group is
この場所
alive
はこう
and
いう人たち
cannot
の
be
着手禁
captured
止点になります。
because it has at least two eyes.
この白石に立ってこれは名と呼ばれる場所です。この場所に立って黒はどちらも着手禁止点になります。この目を2つ持っている場合、この白石を取ることは、この石を切る。もうなんでああ、取られへんけど、ってこと。
This white group also has two eyes and cannot be captured. Black could play at C1 or D1, but it will be captured eventually, giving white their second eye. If white is alive because they have at least two eyes, place a stone
白
at
い白
A.
2が持ってきてる
Otherwise,
取らないと
capture
思
the
うが
group
ね
of 6 white stones.
多分犬。でも次、呼吸なかなかいいんじゃないの
Excellent capture sequence. White only
2個な
had
いと
one
こう
eye, so
潰し
you
て
were
やか
able
ら
to
な。
capture them. If white is alive because they have at least two eyes, place a stone at A. Otherwise, capture the group of 10 white stones.
色なる。
Great work. Two spots directly next to each other can never be two
2が。
eyes. Is white alive with two
2が
eyes?
ね、2が。
If so, place a stone at A. Otherwise, capture the group of 11 white stones.
そう。いいよ。これ無理。
Good, white is alive. Notice how the two eyes are separated by the stone. Let's try making two eyes now. How can you make two eyes to save the black group of 5 stones? Nice, you
course.
saved the black group by making two eyes. Remember that your eyes are spots that are illegal moves for your opponent. Please save this black group by making two eyes. Nice, you saved the black group by making two eyes. Remember that your eyes are spots that are
俺の中
illegal
の
moves
サ
for
イ
your
が冴え
opponent.
てきたな、俺。
Here's an example of a fake eye.
掛け眼の例で
A
す。
fake eye is a spot that looks like an
Fake
eye but isn't,
掛け眼は目で
because you
実際
can
ではない
capture the opponent when
目
playing
で
at
は
the
ない
fake
かもしれ
eye.
ない掛け眼の場所は
Go
当て
ahead
る
and
からです。
capture white with J5. Because white only has one eye, they will eventually be captured.
ああ。あとこれここで白ってどうなの白はこれ打たれへんのか
Is white alive with two eyes? If so, place a stone at A. Otherwise, capture the group of 8 white stones.
これは繋がってないから。いけんちゃう
Good. White only had one eye, since the G8 eye was a fake eye. Remember, typically large groups will have at least two eyes,
両手の
and
ロー
thus
プ
be
使い方一
alive.
つでも実験した
Black should
感
not
がありま
continue
す
playing on the right because they would be filling in their own territory. We learn about territory in the next section.
人生成績するのに
The player with more territory at the end of the game wins. Territory is a surrounded area where any stone played will eventually get captured. In this example, black has surrounded 4 points
中
of
に打たれた
territory.
石は最終的に全て取られてしまいます。この場合は、黒の4目で囲ってことになります。ね。全然わかんねえ。ここまでやばす。この中に打たれた石は最終的に全て取られ、
White has jumped in. Prove that this is black's territory by capturing white. Good job! This proves that this was black's territory. How much territory has black surrounded? Place a stone on the number for your answer. Nice job, there are 5. Prove that this is black's territory by capturing white. Perfect, nice captures. How much territory has white surrounded? Place a stone on the number for your answer.
何目でしょうか。だって、
Prove that this is how much territory has black surround. How much territory has white surrounded? Place correct.
さ
There
っ
are
き
6
学んだ
points
よ。
of
何も思い出
territory.
せなかったんやけど。
Please try to survive in white's territory where the triangles are. Play until you
こ
would
の
be
白の
making
地の
illegal
中、三
moves.
角の場所に行って黒石を打って、しかも取れないやつができるでしょうか。あ、
Good, that confirms this is white's territory. Black has no legal moves left to play. Good, that confirms this is white's territory. Good, that confirms this is. You may see territory like the top area. This is black's territory because white will get captured eventually. Keep
黒の地に
capturing the white
あり
stones
ます。
to
中に
prove that this
入
is
った、
black's
照射すると、
territory.
私の運命にあるからです。
Nice sequence. You've proven this is black's. So far, we've shown examples where stones are connected to form territory.
例え
But
ば
this
この
is
海
not
は
always
黒
needed.
がオフに地を持っている
For
可能性が
example,
高いです。
black likely has the
生きることが
territory on
難し
the
いです。
right, as white will have trouble making two. You generally want to start by surrounding
一
the
般的に
corners,
隅
then
を囲い、
sides,
次
then
に
the
辺
center.
を囲い、
In each of these
次に途中を
examples,
囲
black
む。
has surrounded 4 points of territory. It takes 4 stones in
こ
the
の理論だ
corner,
と、初
6
手天
stones on
気、
the
クソ雑魚
side,
じゃん。初手真ん
and 8
中。
stones in the center to surround the 4
雑魚ム
points.
ーブやんけ。で、真ん中奥やつ。雑魚です。トイレ行ってくるわ。 あ、もう好き。えー、ここまでそんだけいると。
The game ends when both players agree by using the pass button. When a player passes, it becomes the opponent's turn. If they also pass, then we enter the scoring phase of the game to determine who won. This game is finished. Please press the replay button, then press Please press the replay button, then press the pass button. Both players passed. So now we start the scoring phase to determine who won. We will learn about how scoring works in the next
難
section.
しすぎる、ここ。このパート
It's
難
a
すぎ
good time to pass when there are no good moves or neutral spots left to play. Black playing in white's territory on the left would result in black getting captured eventually. And black should not play on the right because they would be filling their own territory.
左側の白の地の中に黒を打つと、最終的には黒は取られてしまいます。また、右側に打っても、自分の地を埋めることになってしまうので、黒は右にも打つ受けて黒はあります。無理やり埋めに行ったら、損するのか。あ、でもそっか、相手もその分。
There are two neutral spots marked with triangles, so we should not pass yet. Neutral spots are spots that are not worth any territory. Play the neutral spots to finish the game, then press the pass button. Excellent, you've finished the game.
ゲームの終わらせ方むずすぎ。
Sometimes what looks like a neutral spot will
なかな
actually
か
be
や。
worth some territory. Try starting at the triangle.
ダメなイメージがここをお互いの手打つべき勝ちな場所になっています。はい。
Great work, that was a nice sequence. This game is not finished yet. Please finish the game as black, then press the pass button.
むずすぎませんか、これ。取られる。取られる。どここれ。激ムズなんだけど。わかんねえ。開いてみるか。
Try stopping white from getting the d7 territory. Try stopping white from Try stopping white from Try stopping white
こういったのここまでだけ。
Try stopping white Try stopping white Try stop Try stop Try stopping white from Try stop Try stopping white
どこやねん、これ。こうでしょ。と、でもここと、ここと、取られるだけ。
Try stopping white from getting Try stopping white from getting the d7 territory, then press the pass button. Nice job, you finished the game.
そういうこと。
Sometimes what looks like a neutral spot will actually be. This game is not finished yet. Please finish the game as black, then press the pass button.
調律
Nice job, you finished the game. This game is not finished yet because there is still a good move to play at the top side of the board. Where should black play to finish the game?
これは特になさそうだけど。飛んでる。追われてる。なくね。
The e9 stone is about to be captured.
E9 ってどこや ?A, B, C, D, E.
Nice find. Black needed to protect their e9 stone from getting captured. This game is not finished yet because black can either make territory or destroy white's territory at the top side of the board. Please finish the game as black, then press the pass button.
パスしたらここ置かれる囲われてまうから、こうか。で、いった方がいいんか。こういうの
Try making territory or destroying white's territory. Great job finishing the game. This game appears to be finished because all the neutral spots are taken, but black can still do something.
9番むずすぎる。
That was a nice cut and follow-up. White gets captured. Let's explore how, after both players pass, we enter the scoring phase of the game. Stones that will eventually be captured, triangle-marked stones, are removed from the board. These captured stones count against the opponent's territory, and whoever has more territory wins.
こういうのはもう最終的に取られる。
There is automatic scoring that shows you who won and by how much once both players pass. You
Hello again. I'm Pickles. Remember me? Let's play a full game. Whoever with more territory at the end wins. White always wins ties. You can go first. You play as black.
犬、死ぬ。これは無理や。言ってもったいないことしてきて。気に入ってる ?109 点が繋がってるから大丈夫か。
I pass. It's your turn. If you pass, I will score the game.
変わるとこあるかね。ここは多分なんかどっち行きすんねんな。
We both passed. Let me calculate who won. You won.
しょう。
Congratulations! You've finished the tutorial on how to play Go. You can now play a game, solve puzzles, or learn more.
LINE するか。いチャットかか。うわGmail、Gmail。Gmail 開いたプロフスピが安くなってるらしい。ちょっと見よう。ピプロのさっき。ケイとシーズンパスすごい売れてるじゃん。ストリートファイターには負けてんですけどね。はい。で、私の戦闘力は、初心者と始めたばかりやった初心者の方が下ない。
Let's learn about the rules of Go.
いや
Stones are
このチュートリアル俺やった。金払ったら、対局を無料。レッスン。トレイング。ラビット、石膏、ベテラン、グランドマスター。
Welcome to the lesson series on solving, how to improve, as well as that. You're already play through it. That's totally fine. But I think if you want to, learn how to play the game further and improve at it, or if you already learned how to play the game and you've been playing for a while, like already a very extreme. I'm talking. That's by far that here. So if you click, that's also important. But I would say tactics and solving puzzles is by far going to be the most important thing to help you improve at the game. So how this works is there's timestamps down here. So if you click on a timestamp, it'll jump there and you can bring me to that list right to play. So that means there's some stuff right show up to this that'll bring you back. Hi, my name is Matthew, and welcome to the lesson on how to solve a. Before we dive in, though, let's first review what liberties and captures are. So for beginners, I would highly suggest going through our tutorial first before diving into puzzle solving. Otherwise, you're going to be very lost very quickly. So the key sections that you want to have a good solid understanding of are liberties, which you can see here, as well as capturing, which you can see here. And this is all part of the tutorial. So if you come over here to the how to play section from the homepage, you'll start with placement
チュート
and
リアル終わ
you'll
らした。
cover everything from liberties and capturing all the way down to even more complicated things. But regardless, if you're here and you just want a refresher, then I will certainly give you one, starting with liberties. So as you can see here, a liberty is a spot that is connected to a stone or stones by a line. So here you can see that this white stone has 4 liberties, or as you can tell, diagonals. Need those. Here is an example. Clearly has some liberties, and so this is part of the tutorial. Give you the answer. That's not the right answer, and they'll try to explain. That's not the right answer. The liberties, stone, and or let's say example. So great. I think that should cover most of the information you need to solve. So right in this case, and I'll check in with you after you've done the problem. All right, here's the first puzzle. Give it a try, and then I'll. Great. So now that you've tried this, let's talk. Welcome back to the lesson series on how to solve Go puzzles. And yeah, whenever you're ready, let's dive into the first. Hi, my name is Matthew, and welcome to the lesson on Liberty, capturing and saving stones, except with a little. Survive. So over here, I have a similar example, this time with a couple more stones in place of all the stones. And then figure out where you need to go. So right, in this case, this stone is connected to that stone. So I would start by counting the liberties here. So that's 1, 2, 3 of its liberties taken. And so we need great of puzzles, where I'm going to go through the logic of how to solve it, as well as why it's under the category that it is. And then you'll be able to do a few on your own. So the video will pause, and you'll be able to click on the board and try to solve it. And I'll show you generally how that's going to look. So in this case, over here, I have puzzle run in review mode, which is one of the ways that you can review puzzles. And generally speaking, after you're done with it and you want to look at the right answer, it captures this. These 2 white stones have, right? So as you get the problem, it will look like a replay by that. That is generally it, a couple of problems. So in this case, if I look at, each other, right? In this case, however, this one, since it is disconnected from the other. So right, in this case, this stone and this stone are connected to each other. So they actually have 1, 2, 3, 4 liberties. However, this one, since it is disconnected, has 3 of its liberties taken. And so we need to play on the 4th one to be able to capture it. So this should be relatively easy. If you've gone through the tutorial, you've done a lot of different puzzles like this, and probably ones that are harder. But this should give you a good sense of how to approach these types of problems. And so over here, I think I have an example. Just give me a second, I'll pull it up. Of one that is a bit more difficult. And so I'll walk you through the logic of doing this. Yeah, so here's a good one. So in this case, there are a lot of stones involved, at least more than the previous one. And so again, you would have to look and say, okay, so which stones have how many liberties? And so I think the best way to do this as a beginner is to count all of the liberties of all the stones, and then figure out where you need to go. So right, in this case, this stone is connected to that stone. So I would start by counting the liberties here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So quite a few liberties. So probably we can't capture this very easily. This one is by itself. It has 1, 2, 3 liberties. And then if I look at these 2, it has just the singular liberty. So if I go here, I will capture it and take it off, and that would be the right answer. So now it's your turn to try a few on your own, and I'll check in with you after you've done the problem. All right, here's the first puzzle. Give it a line or straight spot next to the stone. So if we play it like this, it'll capture the stones. A straight line, which is connected to this stone by a straight line, and this stone is connected to this stone by a straight line. So actually, all four of these share the same liberties, whereas these two are not connected to these because there is nothing that is a straight line connecting them. If there was a stone here, then they would be. So that basically answers the question, but if we look at these 4 stones, the way to capture them is to play the only straight line that is coming off, or spot, which would be here. And that's why this is the correct answer. All right, wonderful job so far. Now that you have a solid grasp on how to capture, let's talk about the second category under the 100 ELO puzzles, which
現代の若者。
is saving stones.
絶対世
So
代
to save stones, we generally want to increase our liberties, either by extending or connecting to other stones. So I have 2 simple examples to show you here. So the first one being here, right? So if I look at the situation to capture, I would want to go here because that would take away the last remaining liberties of these 2 black stones, as they are not connected to these other 3 yet. And so you'll notice and go oftentimes that the best move for your opponent also happens to be the best move for yourself. So in this case, if we were to go here, now these 2 black stones are connected to these other 4 stones. So now we have 6 stones all connected to each other. And so if I count liberties here, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So all of a sudden we go from 1 liberty to 7 liberties. So that's why it's really important to save stones and connect them to other stones. So over here, I have a similar example. This time,
ここに置いたら、あ。え。これでしょ？なんでこれあかんって言われたの？言われてんの？これは、これがピンチやから、こう。これ1回目の正解扱いしてくれんの？俺。
welcome back to the lesson series on how to solve Go puzzles. This lesson. All right, so let's start off with capturing stones when there are more stones on the board. So I'm going to walk you through 2 examples, and then you'll do 2 on your own. So when thinking about capturing when there are more stones on the board, the first thing I would do is try to identify which stone or stones are closest to being captured. So in this case, the first thing I would look at is these 3 stones. And I look and I'd say, well, they don't really seem that close to being captured because there are a bunch of spaces over on this part of the board, and it doesn't really seem to be close to being surrounded. So then next I would look at these 5, which you'll notice again, diagonals do not connect stones. So if I look at these 5, I would say, oh, well, it actually appears somewhat close to being surrounded because on all 4 sides, there's black stones surrounding it. However, the actual liberties around these 5 stones, there's actually still quite a lot. So this probably isn't the right thing to try to surround right away. And then I would look at these 2 white stones. I'd say, okay, yeah, this is closer to being captured. As again, there's stones all around it, but there's still some liberties here that I notice. And then finally, I would come to this 1 stone and I would say, oh, well, this one seems quite close to being captured because, remember again, diagonals do not count as connections, and so it's not actually connected to anything else. And stones on the edge of the board, so this line here, have 1 less liberty naturally than in the center of the board, so they only have 3 liberties. And in this case, 2 of them, so this one and this one, are already taken. So if I go here, then I've successfully captured that stone. Okay, so that's the first example. The second example, wow, look at this, right? So many more stones on the board, but actually probably around the same difficulty as the example that we just did. So we'll take that same approach. So the first thing I would do is when looking to capture, in this case is black, is I would look at these stones here and I would say, okay, they seem very, very far off from being captured as there's a bunch of liberties on the outside here. They're all connected to each other, and it's not surrounded on all 4 sides at all. So I would take a look at this and say, okay, let's ignore that part for now. Then I would look at these three stones and I would say, okay, these actually seem pretty close to being captured, right? So if we look, these liberties here, these four seem to be taken, but it still seems like there's some liberties here. Okay. Then I would look at this big chain of stones in the center. I would say, oh, well, actually, this seems very close to being captured because remember again, diagonals do not count as connections. And so this stone is not connected to this one, nor is this stone. And so actually, these stones only have one liberty, which is right here. So if I go here, as you'll notice, wow, all of these stones just got taken off. Okay, great. So now that we've gone through some examples, it's time for you to try on your own. So here's the first puzzle. Let's see how you do.
取られそうな投稿は、
Okay, great. So let's talk about this one now. So first off, I would notice it's quite interesting because in this case, it looks like black is the one that is very close to being surrounded. So if I look here, right, these group of stones here, these seven, only have this liberty and that liberty. So they're very, very close to being captured. And if I look at these two stones, they're separate individual stones. They're not connected to anything else, right? Because again, diagonals don't connect them. And so it has one liberty, two liberty. Both of them actually share the same liberties, but aren't connected. So an interesting example. So the first instinct here would be, oh, well, it looks like I'm about to get captured, which is why it's all the more important to capture some of their stones first. And so in this case, I would look again at all these outside stones and I would say, well, there does not seem to be any chance of me surrounding these in the near future. Is there anything that could be surrounded right away? And I would settle on these two stones because again, right, the diagonals do not count as connections. So this stone is actually isolated from all the other stones and only has one liberty, right? So if we look this one, and this one, these three have been taken up. So the only one left is here. This stone on the edge, remember, has three liberties to begin with, and two of them were taken, this one and this one. So in fact, when I go here, I'm going to get a double capture because both of these have been taken off. So that's how I would approach this problem. Okay, last one, and this one is very difficult because there's a lot going on. But if you follow the same concepts that we've been talking about, I think you'll be able to find it. So let's see how you do.
はい。うん。じゃあ俺、しゃあねえな。こうてもしゃあないな。ああ。むずすぎ、このゲーム。本当にこれ初級まあ、パッと見ここよね。置きます。白ことこうくんかな。ここかでもいる。はいはいや、ここは。はあ。むずすぎ。 ったらあれかけてんのか。嘘、マジ見えねえ。むずすぎる、このゲーム。
Okay, hopefully you got it right. If not, no worries. I think this one is quite a bit harder than the other ones, but let's talk about how to solve this. So first of all, wow, just a lot of stuff going on. And so that makes it a lot more difficult to figure out what to do. But again, I would do the same thing that we've been doing before and just start by looking at which stones appear close to being surrounded. And the best way to look at that is to look at the ones that are distinctly separated from the other ones. Right? So let's start over here, right? So these two stones I would say are distinctly separated from all the other ones because this one, right, is a diagonal coming off of this, so it's not connected. And same with this one. So these two only have two liberties right now, this one and this one. So I'm close to being able to capture, but I can't quite. This one stone is the same thing, right? It's distinctly separated from this one and that one because these are diagonals, they don't count. So again, this one has two liberties, this one and this one. So close, but not quite. I would look at all of these and I would say, okay, a lot of liberties here, right, that I'm hovering over, so it can't really be any of these. Then I would come over to these and this one, and I would say, okay, this one close, right? It seems quite separated from all the other ones, because again, this one doesn't count, and nor does this one, and so it actually only has two liberties as well, this one and this one, whereas this one and this one, the liberties are taken. So we're close, but not quite. These are all connected to each other. There's this liberty, that liberty, that liberty. Okay, so it's probably not this one. Then I would come over to these group of stones, and I would say, okay, so these two have, it appears to be two liberties left. So this one and this one. So we're close, but not quite. And then I would finally look at these 5 white stones here, and I would say, okay, these 5 looks like they have a lot of liberties, but actually, remember, diagonals don't count again, so it's not connected here. It's also not connected here. So actually, all of the liberties, which is this one, this one, this one, this one, and that one, 5 out of 6 have been filled already. So if I go here, I'm actually going to be able to capture all of it at once. So tricky problem, but if you take that same approach that we've been doing, which is looking at which stones are surrounded first, and then be able to hone in on the ones that seem like they'll be most likely to be captured, then you'll be able to find the right answer. All right, now that we have a solid grasp on how to capture with more stones involved, let's talk about the flip side, which is saving stones with more stones involved. So I have one example for you here that I'll walk you through, and then you'll try one on your own. So when approaching these problems, it's really the same logic that you should apply as the one that we talked about before, which is as opposed to counting all the liberties of all, okay, yeah, that one appears isolated because, again, diagonals don't count as connections. And so stones on the edge of the board naturally start with 3 liberties if they're by themselves. And if I look here, this liberty's taken, that liberty's taken, and so if white plays here, actually, they would capture me. So the right answer is to go here. And as you can see, if I play some other move on the board and white goes here, they've now successfully captured me. So that's how I would approach this one. So now it's your turn to try on your own. This one, a lot more stones involved, but I think you can figure it out.
これで言ったら、2でしょ。これ1か。できたな、これ。
All right, hopefully you got it right. But if not, no worries. We'll talk about how to approach this. So again, same reasoning as before. Start by looking at which stones are isolated from each other. So these are isolated from the rest because, right, this diagonal doesn't have a connection, but they do have a solid amount of liberties here, so it's probably not going to be the right answer to focus on these. This one's isolated by itself, again, because diagonals don't count, but it has a solid 3 liberties, so it's not this one. These 4, not going to be the right answer. These stones here, nope.
結局、勝ち負けと関係ないって言ったらあれやけど、 直
finally
接
I
は
come
違
to
う
this
よ
one,
な。
I'd say, oh,
それがまたむずいな。取
this
っ
is
た数で
probably
勝負とかやったら。
something to do with the right answer
とりあえず取れる
because
と見ていく。
diagonals don't count, so it's actually by
でも
itself.
それ
And
も
then
オセロ
if
や
I
しな。
look, this liberty, this liberty, and this liberty, so 3 out of the 4 are surrounded. So if I don't play anywhere, I'm going to end up getting captured. So the right answer then is to play here and connect it back up to the rest of these stones here. And again, if I play somewhere else, you can see that if white goes here, then I am captured. So oftentimes, like I talked about in the previous lesson, your opponent's best move is oftentimes your best move as well. And that's especially true for these cases where stones are close to being surrounded. All right, now that we have a solid grasp on how to save stones with more stones involved, let's talk about capturing stones while in Atari.
当たり。
So naturally,
Atari
when we
game
are in
console.
danger, our first instinct is to run away, and or in the case of Go, extend our liberties. So let's take a look at this example problem here. So in this case, if I look at these 6 stones, they appear very close to being surrounded
Yeah.
because, again, diagonals don't count as connections. And so all of the liberties here have been
Well, yeah.
taken, except for this one here. So, for example, if I were to go somewhere else and white goes here, as you can see, I've been captured. So my natural instinct then is, okay, let's run. Let's try to extend our liberties by playing a move that is connected to the rest of the stones. So that would be here. But in this case, actually going here does not actually give me any more liberties. I still only have 1. So if white were to go here, I'm just captured anyways. So sometimes in Go, you're going to have to make a choice, right? Like, do I want to extend my liberties or at least try to, or do I try to capture instead? So in this case, the answer, of course, has to be that you can capture something.
逆転の発想来たのか。
And sometimes you won't be able to, and you're just
めっ
captured
ちゃ
and
右上
surrounded,
に
but
意
that
味
is
深な
part of the
隙間
game.
があ
But
る
in
ん
this
けど。
case, it is a puzzle, so that means we can capture something. So let's look at this, right? So these white stones, same story. There's a lot of them connected to each other, but they are not connected to these 3 on the outside.
こ
So
れで
they
すな
actually only have
作るの。
1
無理
liberty
やな、
left,
多分。
which is here.
パズル作るの。
So
パ
if
ズル
black
と
were
いう
to
か、こ
play
の
a stone here,
爪、
then actually
爪
all
碁
of them
爪
are
将棋や
captured.
から爪碁か。
So the right answer then would be to go here. And this one actually is interesting for a separate reason, which we'll cover in the bonus section. But there's a rule in Go where you can't play a move that has no liberties. So in this case, by going here as black, as you can see, right, on the edge of the board, if you remember correctly, let's say I play a stone here, it has 3 liberties, 1, 2, and 3. If I play in the center of the board, it has 4 liberties, 1, 2, 3, 4. If I play in the corner of the board, which there are only 4 corners, it only has 2 liberties, right? So this one and that one. So the rule is that you cannot play a move that has 0 liberties. So you can't capture yourself. But the only time that you can do so is if you're capturing other stones in the process of doing so. Right? So when I go here, since these are captured, now this stone actually does have 2 liberties. So anyways, we'll talk about that more in the bonus section, but I just thought I would mention it because this happens to be related to that as well.
なるほど。
Okay, so that's the first one. So now there are a couple of practice ones that I want you to try, and we'll come back and talk about it when you're ready.
死にかけの石は、取ったらさ、ここなんもないよな。あ、それ、これか。あとはこれか。これ取る。こっちがいいんやろ、これって。ちょっと取れるよな。取れるよな。これ、2眼とかやつなるんか、これ。あ、取れるからあかんのか。
All right, so this one is a bit tricky. So again, let's talk about it and try to figure out why, and what the right answer is. So first, let's start off by looking at the liberties. So for our own stones, these 7 are disconnected from these on the outside. And if we look at how many liberties they actually only have one liberty, which is here. So your natural instinct may be to capture this stone here to try to get some more liberties. So I've done so, I've captured it. But again, let's count the liberties. As it turns out, there's actually only one liberty left. So if white goes here, we'll just be captured. So that actually is not the right answer. And which is why a lot of times Go becomes tricky because not only do you have to think about, oh, should I make more liberties? Should I connect? Should I capture? But you also have to figure out, oh, which stone should I capture? So in this case, that is one of those types of sub problems that you can think about because you can't just capture this one because that doesn't work. So we'll look again at the rest of these stones. So these 5 look like they're cut off right from the rest because these 4, right?
レッスン投げ。レッスン投げ。急に受け身なんでちょっとびっくりするな。死んでるよな。あかんのかな。あ、そっか。上と上か。もうむずい。なあ。わかんない。ここか。これまずいよな。これまずいからどうにかしたいけど、なんか取れるとこある？入れ耳ない？つけられねえ、これもしかして。コンセプトレス。
All right, now that we have a solid grasp on how to save stones with more stones involved,
ああ、へえ、こうやって飛んでくれんねや。へえ。できるよね。運んでる？ちゃった。ああ。もうむずい。むずすぎる。こうでしょ？うん。こう置いてもしゃあない。お茶うのでも。 え、取られるのを防ぐってこと？ちょ、もう無理すぎ。いや、マジで、すげえむずい。むずいってか、どこ見たらいいか全然わかんない、このゲーム。いや、わけわかんねえ。ページに。これはどこ取れそう？これが取られそう。ここ取れるな。取ります。違うきます。取られる。全部。うん。うん。取られて積むけど取られへん。ああ、ああ、ここがなさそう。いや、落ち着いてみるんや。でも、ここ取れるな。取れるけど、取った後、取り返されちゃう。で、つながって、2、3。それでいいんや。問題多すぎんか。問題が通ってきてきてる。多いてもしゃあないな。1、2。むしろなんか取らそうなとこがあるんだけど。なんか取れそうとこあるか、これ、もしかして。 そうなの？ここか。ありますね。まずい。え、そっか。あ、こうこうこう。いい。いいばっかり。そうのとこ。そうなん。うーん。うん。疲れる。すげえ疲れる。疲れる。あ。とりあえずこれだけやって終わらしたいな、もうさすがに。全然わからん。でかいてほしい。
Now, the second one, which we've already touched upon, is capturing stones when you have no liberties left. Right? So this is, I think, a pretty good example. So if we look here, these two white stones are isolated from this one and this one, because again, diagonals don't count. And 5 of the 6 liberties, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one have been taken. So if black goes here, that would actually capture the 2 stones. As you can see, they've been taken off the board. And this is possible and legal because by capturing the stones, I'm giving myself more liberties, right? But if I didn't capture the stones, or let's say by playing here, then my 4 stones actually have 0 liberties. So you're not allowed to do a move that has 0 liberties, unless you are capturing something else. So let's go with one final puzzle before
こうされたでしょ。なんか急に問題感となってきたな、これ。どういうこっちゃ。あ、むずい。簡単。自殺になる。色を埋めとなる。無理っぽそうやな。犬。むずすぎるし、囲碁。下手そう。100ってところか、俺の気力は。200のやつ戦うか。ピオルちゃん。ピオルちゃん、対戦よろしくお願いします。ピオルちゃん、ちょっと長考しすぎ。大体なんかこういうのって固めた方が良さそう。知らんけど。意外とお前の長考っぷりやねんけど。まずは自分の陣地をどっしりと構えていこうではないかって感じの気がする。おい、チョコが出てきてるな。やんのか。狙われてる。危ない。でもこれ繋げたら、いやー、 う取られちゃう。でも反則なんやっけ、ぐるぐるぐるぐるなんか。つなげるしかない。つなげても未来ない気すんねんけど。未来あんのこれ。大丈夫か。こうしたら、うん、大丈夫。いきなり真ん中。いきなりステーキ。どこが自分有利なの？なんか上はでも向こうの方がちょっと有利そうやね。やっぱ下をこう置いてから下固めていきたいけど。不安なのもここよね。ここを有利を固めたい。固めていきますか。なぜ？ふっどうしてんやろな。伸びんようにした方がいいかな。うん。置いてそうもしなさそう。いい、いい、いい。優しい。優しい。いや、優しいよ、フィオル。無情しかない。あ、間違えた。あれ、これ許されるわ。もうむずすぎ。どうしたいのこれ。むずすぎる。わけわからん。どうやってんのこれ。ああ、もうわけわからん。もうやめていいっすか。 でもこれ取られちゃうよな。これとか大で取ら、自殺。あ、でも取れるから意味ないんか。もうこれ。なんか次々と。囲め。下の大地を。なんかこれやばそう。下の大地が崩壊する。大地を蘇れ。粘るな。あははまた、また、また。引き分けで手を打たないか。フィオル。フィオル。フィオル。フィオル落ち着け。ああ。もうダメだ。負け分かんなすぎて、このゲーム。どうしたらいいのこれ。もうダメだ。もう俺の負けです。AI。一味。搭載レポート。この初手でもすでにすげえ悪そうなんやけど。もしもしなんかよそ行きだと思って全然良くない。めっちゃ相手に寄ってる。俺だけ打てもそう相手の勝率下がってるから。相手の接待力が俺を上回ってる。面白すぎるんけど。ちょっと面白すぎる。すげえボットが接待してくれてるのにどんどんひどくなっていく。これ以上。嘘、もうこんなに負けてんの俺。毎回こんだけ負けてんのにさらにここのゲージ伸びていくんやけど。そんなことあるもういいや。配信終わります。悲しくなりました。さようなら。